Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are well. I'm here with a different type of video. I hope you guys liked the little intro that I did. But anyway, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, we're going to talk about books and the books that I feel like we should all read in 2025 and just onwards. So all the books that we were going to talk about are just placed down right here. I'll tell you guys about them, I'll tell you why I recommend them, and I'll rate them too. So I'm gonna go chronologically. So the first one that I read up until the one I finished yesterday or 2 days ago. Anyways, so let's talk about them. First on the list, the one that I started, let me just bring it back a bit. So why I started reading, I also have my tea here and a cake I baked yesterday. Banana bread, my own version. Okay, that was my version of banana bread. You know, gotta get cozy up in here. But yeah, so why I started reading. It was a question. I was supposed to do like a chit chat video about my 2024. Didn't like the footage, didn't like how it came out, so it never came out. But one of the questions that I had there and that I had in my previous vlog was what books I've read or which ones I recommend and how come I can read that fast. If you're not familiar with my game, I read books pretty fast because I just want to know what's going on. Like, I just want to get to the point. I really enjoy reading and I really enjoy reading the books, but I'm just like, okay, but like what happened? Like why are we in this situation right now? So it's very easy for me to finish a book in a day or two because I'm just really interested. I really want to know what's going on, why. I want to know the backstory. I want to know all the characters. So that makes it easy for me to like just get to the end of the book. And also because I have like a bit of free time. So on my walking pad, I will read after work. Like the whole afternoon is free for me to just read. I'll go to the gym, come back, maybe read in bed. Like I do have some moments to really read, and that's what I want to do because I also just want to bring my screen time down. So far so good. I've been down with my screen time, I think like 1 hour 30 minutes, something like that, which is amazing already to me, and I want to keep it to the minimal, and I just really want to bring it to the minimal, and reading helps to bring it down. Because there's just nothing else for me. Like if I'm reading, I don't have to be on my phone, you know? So I think that's a bit as to why I can read fast, or I just read fast because I just want to know what's going on. It's also just very easy if it's a good book. If it's a good book, I will get to the end, like, you know? So yeah, I think that answers that question. Just if it's a good book and it's really interesting, it really keeps me engaged, I will just keep reading to the end. And I force myself, but it's not really forcing because I do enjoy it, but I force myself to keep reading so my screen time is also down. And yeah, I think that answers that question. Back to the books I want to talk about and I recommend. Also, do we like this? I feel like, okay, wait, I'm just doing this all over the place. But the reason why this is different from my vlogging is because I want to have different type of videos. And I feel like because reading is such a big part of my life right now, why not dedicate a whole video to it and a title of like, let's talk about it, because there will be many other things hopefully that I feel like talking about that are not necessarily for the vlog. So I don't know, maybe this is like a different genre of video for my channel. So do we like it? I feel like I like it. That's the only thing that matters. I like it and I'll keep doing it. So yeah, but anyways, back to the topic at hand is the books that I've read so far and that I really recommend and feel like we should all read in 2025. In August is when I started to really bring reading back into my life. I did it all online, Wattpads, books of Apple, like the app books. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But I was on my phone and I didn't want that. I don't want to be on my phone the whole time. I just think it's like, it's just not necessary, you know, like I just don't want to be on my phone. And first I wanted to try, I'm really talking again, but anyways, let's talk about it. I've put this book down twice right now, but anyways, first off, I wanted to start with just going to the library and just lending books. But and I did that. I lent a couple of books because I was going on a trip with my best friend, and I wanted to be like, you know, by the pool, just reading, a different vibe. So I brought the books that I had from the library onto my vacation, and then I was like, I clocked like, this is actually kind of dirty, because I was reading, and you know, there are stains obviously on books. Well, not obviously, but there were stains on the books, on the pages, and I was just like,
oh my God, what is that?
Like, what is that?
What is that?
That's how my mind kept going. Like, actually, these are books that have been used and read by so many people all over the world. I don't know those people. I don't know what these stains right now are. Like, no, no, thank you. So in my mind, and also with like COVID and everything, I was just like, this is actually so dirty. And no shade to people that use the library. By all means, do what you gotta do. But I was just over it. I was over the thought that kept going in my mind, like, what is this thing? Actually, why is it looking like that? How many dust does this have? Like, I was getting paranoid, basically. So brought them right back after my vacation. I was just like, you know what? No, the library is not for me, because there is no library. Maybe there is, but I feel like there is no library that does a whole deep clean of the library itself and the books that they have, which they should and should not do. I don't know, but I feel like because I just know that they don't do that, I'm not comfortable with having all those books in my house. One moment. I'm just not comfortable with having all those books in my house. I'd rather not. So that's why I went to buying books, and I wasn't really a fan of it in the beginning, because I was like, I'll buy all these books, read them, and I'm done reading, and then they'll be on my top shelf, and that's it. But right now, I've grown into it, and I just feel like it's so nice to have your own mini library. If my friends want to come over, read a book, if my children want to read the books that I read, like, you know, that I've read, you know, there's just like something to it. So very expensive very expensive way of filling up your free time. But I just feel like it's worth it, and right now I'm fine. I also don't want to have a e-reader or whatever, because I'll be on a screen, and I just don't want that. That's the whole point of me buying books. I don't want to be on a screen, and I don't want to have dirty stuff in my house, because all of this is mine, and I just know what it is. I just know everything because it's mine. The first book I read when I started my reading journey, 7 Days in June. 7 Days in June by Tia Williams is the first book that I've read. What was this actually about? So this is a book about a Black couple that is not a couple anymore. They've been living their own lives, but are still somehow connected. And after being apart for so long, they get to reconnect. And it's basically about why they broke up in the first place, and the whole story around that took place 7 days in June. I don't want to say too much, but I just liked the way the reconnection happened. I liked the way, I just like the way they reconnected, and how mature they've become over the years to really talk about those 7 days in June. A bit vague, but listen, babes, if we don't want to have spoilers, I don't know what else to tell you. So yeah, the second book I've read, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Oh, I didn't rate it. I'll rate this. I'll rate this one like a 7. I think a 7 is decent. 7.5 on 10, something like that. Okay, so this book had me hooked. Like, I took it to work. I'm so sorry, but I took it to work because I really had to get to the point of like, why are there 7 husbands? Like, babes, one is already like a handful. Why do you need 7 of them? Evelyn Hugo is like a big famous Hollywood actress, and she's close to dying, and now she wants to tell the story of her life and those 7 husbands as to why she had those 7 husbands. And she's using like an unknown magazine reporter of a certain magazine to tell her story, and she specifically took that person from that magazine to tell her story because there was something that they had in common. Everything was just so intentional everything was just so intentional. It was amazing, an amazing read. I don't remember if it was funny. I think it was, but it was most so beautiful, and yeah, it was just like beautiful, interesting, mind-opening. Like, it was really a good read. I will give this like an 8 out of 10. Child, there are so many books I did not. Anyways, I hope, I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but let's talk about it. Yeah, so these two are connected. This is a series, the Green Sisters series, I think, and the third one is coming out, or is out. No, the third one is coming out in a few weeks, I think, or is already out. The Lyric Lover, or something like that. So very excited to get that. But anyway, so these two are sisters, 3 sisters actually. So that's the third book, and they all have their own different love story, their own personal struggles that you just don't know when you're like a sibling of someone. So really their own point of view, their own experiences, but somehow connected because, you know, this couple comes back here, and then I'm sure like these 2 couples will come back in the third book. So yeah, it was just like a cute rom-com-y story, very relatable as well, because, you know, Black people, just Black language, I would say. So I really enjoyed this. I think I enjoyed this one more, if I remember correctly. And then yeah, the third book will be coming out as well. A sister that is looking for a fake date, you know, that type of trope. So looking for a fake date, and it becoming eventually more. Fake date for a wedding, and then, you know, becoming more, but obviously there's more to the story. This one is about like a relationship that ended a few years ago, and again, a reconnection and building up from there. I was clearly in shambles because that is not the plot. Well, not really all of it. Basically, exes run into each other at drunken nights, and all of a sudden they wake up in Vegas, married. And that is basically the whole story, because the main character, the woman in the book, her personal life is just all over the place, and in a way this fake marriage might work out for her professional life. So that is actually the plot. Fake dates, looking for a fake date, eventually becoming more, being ghosted somehow, some way. Like, there's so much more to the story that I'm actually saying. But so the third one is coming out, and then it will be about the third sister, the youngest sister, middle sister, and the next one will be the oldest sister. I forgot to rate them. I would say this one is like a 7, and I'll say this one is like an 8. So pretty good in my opinion. A cute read, very funny, romantic. Like, after those 2 stories I read, Before I Let Go and This Could Be Us, by Kennedy Ryan. This is also part of a series, and a third one will be coming out in May. Oh baby, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that one. 3 friends, and each story is about the other friend's life and romantic, just romantic aspects of their life. Before I Let Go is about a couple that has been married, but they went through a divorce. So now they're divorced and just navigating life with that divorce, with having children, and some way, somehow reconnecting again. This is a bit different because it really focuses on a couple that really got married, that got divorced, that is facing many challenges with raising kids, also dealing with trauma of not having a fulfilled or a full-term pregnancy, just different type of challenges, and really just real. Even though I've never been married nor divorced before, it really takes you in and really makes you feel whatever they're feeling. So I just love the way that this was written, how it really was. Also, again, all Black. Well, this couple is fully Black. So it's just nice to have relatable books. Somehow relatable books, I think everything will be like a 7 or 8. I'm so sorry, but that's just how I feel. And I think this is I'll give this one an 8. I'll give this Before I Let Go an 8. I do get the hype. I can't lie, I do get the hype. Then the other friend in a friend group, Soledad, and I think she has something, I don't remember, but I think it was Latina something. I don't know why I said it that way. Anyways, this is one book I would say it's really one of my favorites, because it is just so real. It is so relatable. It is oh my god, is my light dying? So funny. So it was just so easy to be completely sucked in. It is about a woman that is basically a housewife, and she's going to get a divorce. She has 3 children with her ex-husband, and now she's navigating life kind of as a single mom, but also as someone that does believe in love and wants to find another love. And she's fixing everything, household, getting a job, because all the money is something that the man handled, and now she's going to do this by herself for her kids, managing everything, managing herself. It's just so good. I just feel it's really good. Yeah, I just really loved it. I'll give this a 10 would be too much, but a 9, 8.5, 9. I feel it's one of my favorite books right now, just because it was written, again, so well. It was just an actual story. I don't know how I can say it differently, but I just really recommend. Everything that I've been saying right now, I recommend. I read Black Cake. I spoke about this in my previous vlog. I don't know what made me get this book, but I'm happy. I'm so happy I did. This is another favorite of mine. It is basically about a mom that has died, and she has 2 children. The 2 children, fully grown, of course, don't talk to each other. But the mother died, and she had a will or a testament, and it was a voice recording. And the lawyer that is there, is it a lawyer? Who does that actually? The person that takes care of those testaments and those will type of things, made sure that they were both there, because that's what the mother would have wanted, for them both to listen to her life story that she actually, from beginning to end, lied about. So in that voice recording, it's just basically about her life, how she got to where she is now, how she got her children, and basically the life that she lived before she had kids, because she said that she was an orphan and she's actually not. So that's basically the whole story. There's also a series on it on Disney Plus, Black Cake, and the POVs, the story, the characters, the character development, just everything was everything to me. Yeah, just such a good, it's so different. Like it doesn't have any, there's no romantic layer to it like all the other books, but it was just such a good read. And yeah, I just really recommend this one, just because it's so different. And it might be a reality that it might be a reality that the elder generation had to do for themselves, or like, yeah, I just think it's just a good read. Okay, I just don't know what else to tell you. I just think it's such a good read. But there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, it's also based on people with Caribbean descent, I think Jamaican. So that's also just really nice to see their way of speaking, or to just learn about their culture through a book. Just very interesting. Going chronologically, because this one was way before. Anyways, The Perfect Marriage. This was listed as a psychological thriller. Very different from me, babes. Very different, but I'm so happy I read it. So it is about, wait, let me read the back again to refresh my mind. The phrase is like on the top of at the back of the thing. Would you defend your husband if he was accused of killing his mistress? So basically it's about a lawyer, an attorney, something, and apparently her husband had an affair, and the lady that he had an affair with got killed. And basically she has to defend her husband. So she is taking it up to court for her husband to defend him because he's being accused of murder. It seemed so predictable, but it's not. It really seemed predictable, but it is not. Like, just this whole story, it is not as predictable as you may think that it is. It is not. So please read it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll give this one like a 7.5 because it really had me on the edge of my seat. Oh my God, like it must be like, how can they not see that it was this and this, and how, so it really got to me. The next series is really a series, and I just did not clock it on time. But basically, the book that I started with of this series, the series is Kings of Sins. And this is actually the third book of that series, but I was so enchanted by the cover that I just didn't even stand still and to think. I didn't even sit still, think like, oh, this must be, I was like, oh, I love the cover, I love the back page, I'm gonna just read it. But basically, this is the third book. This is the first. Let me show you just the chronological order. So this is the first, King of Wrath. Then you have the second one that I ordered, King of Pride. Because I was gonna skip over, because in the books it's also about friends, and the life story / love story of each of those friends, like basically a group type of thing. And I didn't really care for the characters in the second book, but now after reading the first one, I was like, okay, no, I do want to get into the second one, so I ordered that one. So yeah, the first one, King of Wrath. Second one is King of Pride. Third one, King of Greed. And the fourth one, King of Sloth. That's the fourth one. And the fifth one is coming out, I think in April, King of Envy. And oh babes, I think for that one, for now, the third one, King of Greed. Yeah, King of Greed is really my favorite one. But I'm really excited to read the fifth one, King of Envy. And yeah, but I will dive into each of their stories in a bit. Basically, there is also like a prequel type of thing for the Kings of Sin series. There is a prequel, and that prequel is the Twisted series. Twisted Love Twisted Games, Twisted Hate, and the thick one, Twisted Lies. So this actually goes before the Kings of Sin series. And I did not know that. So silly old me, I just go back of what I read in the back and I was like, oh my God, Twisted Lies seems like such a good book. I want to read that. I've just not been reading chronologically. But I went chronologically with the Twisted series. I bought this one first. I haven't read it because I was like, okay, apparently I have to follow the chronological order. So I bought this already. I'm gonna just buy the other ones and then I'm gonna get into the fourth one because it's actually the fourth book of the Twisted series and the last book of the Twisted series. I hope I'm making sense. So basically read the Twisted stories first and then get into the Kings of Sins because they do, I don't know how this author, her mind works, but she really, like, it's so intertwined and so interconnected. Like, I don't get how she can remember everything. The Kings of Sin books, so like the second series, some characters play in the Twisted series and then vice versa. Twisted stories, very much in depth, everything good, nothing superficial, but they will be superficial in the Kings of Sins book. But they will also make sense in the Kings of Sins book, like as the role that they play, because you really know their backstory from the Twisted series. So you basically have to read the Twisted series first, get into the Kings of Sins. Of the Twisted series, I really liked the first one, Twisted Love, and the last one, Twisted Lies. All the books of the Kings of Sin series and the Twisted series are good standalone books, but I do recommend reading them all in chronological order for it to really make sense and for you to really know the backstory of every character in the books, because it will just make so much more sense. So the writer was really good and very intentional with how she wrote things. But yeah, so the first one, how can I say this? Ava, so that's the main character. Ava, her brother's best friend. So Alex and Ava, their story, their personal story, their story together, amazing. I'll give this like an 8. All the men, all the love stories are really like the rough type of guy, the billionaire, but like not necessarily the billionaire, but the guy that is financially stable. Babes, they all have money. They all have money. They're all good. They can do whatever in their story. So yeah, basically just the guy that is not really up for love, but then love finds them and they have to navigate their feelings, their thoughts. They don't know what this is, blah, 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 blah. All the same thing, but different ways and just different storylines. After Twisted Love is Twisted Games. This is about a princess that lives a normal life, so also a friend of Ava. They're all friends. So Ava is Twisted Love. This is Bridget. Bridget is like a princess, but she lives a normal life because her country, where she's a princess of, is like all the way in Europe. It plays in America. It's all the way in Europe, so no one really knows, whatever. But something happens and she has to become the actual queen of her country. She's about to develop feelings and whatnot for her bodyguard. And the bodyguard has his own story. Bridget has her own story. They're getting intertwined, and that's their story. Twisted Games. So first, Ava and Alex, Bridget and Reese. The plot in Bridget and Reese, their story is basically that Bridget is becoming queen and Reese doesn't have any royal blood in him, and that is an issue. Next to, well, more so him not having royal blood is the main issue. Second issue is the age difference that they have, which is, I think, 10 years. So that's a bit of the plot, why it is so interesting. After that, you have Twisted Hate. Twisted Hate is about Jules and Josh. Josh is the brother of Ava. Alex is the best friend of Josh, and Ava is a sister of Josh. So this is Josh, his story with Jules, and Jules again is also a friend of Ava and a friend of Bridget. So yeah, the scenes also like play so well together because like in the first books, Jules was there, and now you see why she was there, and like how, I don't know how to explain this well, but everything was so well written, and the details and just everything. But yeah, this is Josh and Jules, their story. Twisted hate, because they actually hate each other's guts, but eventually they find their love, and it's like the whole story of how they got there and their own personal story, like Josh being a doctor, Jules trying to become a lawyer, and just everything with that together. And the last one of the Twisted series is Twisted Lies. Twisted Lies is about Stella and Christian. Stella, again, friend of Jules, friend of Ava, and friend of Bridget. So now it is Stella, her story, and Stella is like the shy friend, but she's a content creator. She has a stalker. It's basically about her coming out of her shell and Christian helping her, but also trying to face his own demons and whatnot, and just get it done together. But this one is my favorite because it's a very slow burn. It touches on things like family and what is that thing called? It touches on family and imposter syndrome. Just like so many aspects of it. And again, so well written, really intertwined. It really makes sense to read things in chronological order, even though you can read them by themselves. So that is a Twisted series. Now the King series. So the first one, King of Wrath. So King of Wrath is about Dante and Vivian. It's a forced and arranged marriage. It's about stepping up against your family if you have to. It is about family in general, loyalty, like Dante and Vivian. Yes. The second one is coming. That's the one that I ordered. So King of Pride, and it is also just like a friend. Like they're all Vivian is in the first one. Isabella is in the second one. This one was Alessandra, and here you have Sloane. So they're all 4 girlfriends. Isabella is part of the friendship group. So I can't say much about the second one because I have to read it. But the third one, so King of Greed, and this is about Alessandra and Dominic. Greed because Dominic is really, all he thinks about is money and getting on top of whatever business thing they have going on. He has his own company. He just wants to keep going, workaholic, everything. But Alessandra is not really for that. And she's really the type to be like, okay, but I want a connection. Like, okay, we can have all this money, but I want to connect to you. And the point is that they are married for 10 years, I think. And he forgets the anniversary. And that's how the story unfolds. So beautiful. It's so beautiful. I just, like Dominic. I saw on TikTok, like someone was in the comments, because when you read things, your whole For You page becomes this writer's stories. And someone in the comments was like, Alessandra was so strong, because I would have folded from the beginning somewhere like that. And I was just like, you know what? Actually, yeah, because he really did that. So I love this story. And then the fourth friend is Sloane, and Sloane is also workaholic. Doesn't have time for emotions, doesn't have time to stand still, think about things. She gets over things just like that. But then she meets someone, actually a client of hers, because she works, where does she work? she's like a publicist. Yeah, she's a publicist for famous and difficult clients, and Xavier is one of her clients, and he just forces her to deal with stuff. And that's what this book is about. I really like it because it is about the strong friend that is actually not that strong all the time, and yeah, how that one person can really get to you in a negative and a positive way. So the strong friend that is not that strong but wants love, pretends not to want love. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious, but it's really a good build-up. It's really interesting. There were times where I could really see myself in her. So yeah, very interesting, very fun, lovey-dovey, of course. So yeah, I haven't given my points. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to rate them. I would say the Twisted series, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 because of the storylines, the different type of storylines, because the details that are in the books, just how detailed it is, how well it was built up, just everything, 8 out of 10. But I'll give this one 8.5 because it's my favorite out of all 4. The Kings of Sin series, I'll give this also like an 8 for the same reasons, the storylines, the connection, how everything is so well intertwined. Like there were no details missed. With these whole series, none of the details felt missing to me. But King of Greed 8.5 because it's my favorite, and just the whole story and the build up. After I get my second one, King of Pride, I will read the second one and read the third one again just because it's that good. So yeah, I think this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was interesting. I feel like I've been rambling so much. There's so much I want to say, but I can't say, and I just really want to talk about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Should we do this more often? I don't know how, because I still have a whole lot of books to read. So maybe in like a couple months we can do this again after I've had a few other books. Let me know what you guys think of the new project of Let's Talk About It, and what we should talk about. I hope I did something for you guys to get books and read them. Be in your own corner, just cozy. Listen, like if you want to gift me anything, gift me a gift card that I can use to buy books, either books or like perfume, whatever girly stuff. But I would never be unhappy with a gift card that I can use for books, because we need to fill this up. That's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments which ones you would like to read. You can also always recommend me books to get. My cart is full, but it is what it is. There's always room for more. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my rambling, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. That might be the vlog by the end of the month. So hope to see you guys then. Bye.